Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. We're looking at a chilly rain for a good chunk of the day, but our northern counties, 2 of them are under a winter weather advisory. I'll show you what to expect where you are.
Gas leak repairs are still underway, forcing residents and businesses along a busy section of Bragg Boulevard in Fayetteville to evacuate. We'll share their frustration.
Plus, shoppers on edge one day after a shooting inside a mall. We are live in Goldsboro with reaction.
A winter weather advisory is in effect for 2 of our counties for tomorrow. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at what to expect from Saturday's storm where you are, Elizabeth.
This is our winter weather advisory from the National Weather Service that they issued early this morning. It includes 2 of our counties, Person County and Mecklenburg County, Virginia. If you take a look, it stretches all the way from Greensboro back to the mountains. The mountains could see a couple of inches of snow potentially before it changes to rain on Saturday afternoon. So the farther west you go, you could run into some slick conditions, but it's looking less and less likely that we'll have any impacts here. Even yesterday, it looked like this would be a very minimal impact situation at best. And today, as we get the new model runs in, it looks like temperatures will be above freezing for the entire event, even in these 2 counties, even in Person County and, of course, up in Mecklenburg County, Virginia. Now, that said, make sure that you're checking in with us early on Saturday morning if you're planning to head out in that area or planning to drive to the west, just to check to see what the conditions are. But this is a look at our new computer model run starting at 3 a.m. 34 degrees in Roxborough, 33 in South Hill. So that's above freezing, 33 Rocky Mount, 34 in Durham and Raleigh. We'll push this ahead and temperatures just go up as the precipitation arrives. 34 in Roxborough and South Hill, 35 in Raleigh, 39 Fayetteville, 40 in Clinton. As that precipitation moves in, gradually the temperatures will climb. It's going to be a fairly miserable start to the day all the way up until lunchtime. That rain is going to be steady and it'll feel like 30s and 40s, but it will be above freezing. Again, you're likely to have to move much farther west to find any freezing rain or freezing temperatures. Mainly what we'll see here is a cold rain. We'll talk about how much rain we'll see and we'll go over the timeline with our high resolution model coming up in just a few minutes.
And happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we just got word from the state DOT that crews are out right now brining roads in those northern counties as we take a live look at Roxborough. Of course, Roxborough is in Person County. Elizabeth just mentioned that Person County and North Mecklenburg are under that winter weather advisory as an abundance of caution. State DOT crews are out brining those roads in areas of Roxborough and Person County, also I-85 in those northern counties as well. We have a crew working this story to keep you informed as to what roads are being brined so that you can make some informed decisions as you head out tomorrow. Of course, we'll keep monitoring this story for any new developments out of the state DOT crews here in the WRAL Live Center.
Thanks, Ken. We'll take you down to Fayetteville now. There are crews working to contain a gas leak around Bragg Boulevard and Bargain Street. On the right side of your screen, this is what that scene looks like right now. Live look from Sky 5 over that area. A contractor hit a gas main there, a large one, causing that leak. And people in the area who rely on that gas to heat their homes spent the night at an American Red Cross shelter. That's where we find WRAL Fayetteville reporter Gilbert Bays this noon. Gilbert?
Yeah, Jeff, you know, this shelter here at the Westover Recreation Center was set up shortly after that leak happened. This is right next to Westover High School and Middle School, and it is far enough away from the leak to be safe, but close enough to be able to shuttle people who need a safe place to stay. Have you seen these pictures from Sky 5? Let me show you some of the stuff that photojournalist Mike Joyner shot on the ground. Pretty incredible footage that was shot yesterday. This is the scene. The gas was billowing from the ground after a backhoe ruptured the 12-inch gas line. Now, the section of Bragg Boulevard you're talking about between Sycamore Dairy Road and Pamela Drive has been shut down in both directions. Crews worked to shut off the gas this morning. They're starting to make repairs. We're told 47 residents and about a half dozen pets sought shelter here at the Recreation Center. Now, Phil Harris is the executive director of the Sand Hills chapter of the Red Cross. He says the cold temperatures and respiratory illnesses that's going around are presenting some challenges for his staff here at the shelter.
We're doing good. We've always been social distancing, cots and are distanced and keeping people's hand sanitizer. We always wipe down and with sanitizing wipes. So still part of the Red Cross protocol, but like you said, winter has got some challenges in respiratory disease as well.
Now, so the big question right now is how long is it going to take to make get the gas company to make the repairs? Until then, we're told this shelter is going to be available to anyone who need it. We're also thinking right now, after talking with emergency management this morning, they're thinking that, Jeff, this repair is going to be made by sometime this afternoon. Until that happens, though, this shelter will be available for anyone who needs it.
Necessary resource in light of what is happening there. Gilbert Bay is live in Fayetteville for us this noon. Gilbert, thank you.
And now to Goldsboro, where a mall reopened today less than 24 hours after a shooting. This is terrifying video posted to Facebook that appears to show at least 2 of the shooters involved. Police charged 3 people with attempted murder. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is live at the mall where shoppers are still a little bit on edge, Destiny.
That's right, Michelle. If you look at the mall right now, it looks pretty much business as usual. We've got a pretty full parking lot, and we've seen lots of customers coming in and out of here this morning. But that's a stark difference from what this looked like just yesterday. Employees told WRAL they heard more than 10 shots going off inside the mall yesterday while people ran to their safety. 3 people were arrested for attempted murder. They're Taiwan Bennett, Dimaj Oates, and Jalil McDuffie. One shopper says she still decided to come to the mall today because she says these types of incidents are becoming common, and all she can do is be aware of her surroundings.
We haven't shooting in school. We haven't shooting in the movie theater. We haven't shooting in skating ring. So, you know, the world that we're living in now, when you hear something like that, it really don't, you know, like surprise you because of everything that's going on in the world now.
Now, those 3 suspects are due in court today, and we'll be following up on that and bring you any updates that we have here online and here on air. Michelle.
All right, Destiny Patterson live in Goldsboro. Thanks, Destiny. And no charges will be filed in a crash that killed a 73-year-old woman. Cary police say Janice Sanders Portier died when she turned into the path of a pickup truck. It happened at 1010 Road and Plumtree Way in Cary. Drivers say it's a dangerous intersection. One neighbor told WRAL that turning onto that road can be very risky.
People who live in Wendell will soon have another option for 24/7 emergency care. A ribbon cutting ceremony was held today at the WakeMed Wendell Healthplex. Brand new. An estimated 14,000 patients are expected to be treated there this year. That is an average of just under 40 people a day coming in. Carolyn Knopp with WakeMed Health says there's a growing need for emergency care in Wendell, but the closest emergency room to that location now is about 25 minutes away. Now people can get help closer to home.
We accept ambulance traffic, we accept walk-in traffic, and any emergency that's dealt with at any of our other locations or any emergency room throughout the country. We have to be able to handle those here. So it's state of the art.
The facility will be open to patients next Tuesday.
New at noon, another strong jobs report shows a healthy economy in the U.S. WRAL's Brian Schrader looks at the numbers and what one local economist, Brian, is expecting for this year.
Michelle, we're getting used to this, where jobs numbers outperform what economists were expecting. More good numbers for December. Take a look at the stats. Employers added 216,000 jobs across the country last month, and that beat economists' expectations of 170,000 added jobs. The unemployment rate in the U.S. held steady at 3.7%. Now, this morning, the UNC Keenan Institute looked at what's ahead for the economy in 2024, and its chief economist, Gerald Cohen, says that the jobs report shows a continued strong economy. He says that overall inflation is easing, but the housing shortage may keep inflation higher than the Fed wants.
Housing is one of those sticky measures where, it takes a lot of time for the kind of these trends to change.
Cohen said the continued economic strength could force the Fed to raise interest rates more this year. He also said uncertainty around this year's elections and other geopolitical issues around the world make it tough to see exactly how the economy will perform this year. But North Carolina, and especially the Triangle area, is well positioned to withstand pretty much anything that could happen.
That's good news. Brian Schrader, thanks.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, we're monitoring the numbers from Wall Street ahead of that better than expected jobs report. Let's take a look at the big board from CNBC. All morning long, the Dow futures before the markets opened tumbled as a result ahead of that report. Now that it's out, Dow has been fluctuating between the negative and positive in the last hour. Right now, it's off about 11 points, as opposed to the S&P and the NASDAQ in positive territory. Right now, Wall Street is on a 9-week winning streak. We'll see if it becomes 10 weeks today. Of course, the jobs report is a key metric that the Federal Reserve will be looking at when that body meets again January 28th.
Ken, thanks for that. Next at noon, one day after a mass shooting at a school in Iowa, how a small community is recovering after a 6th grader was killed and 5 others were injured.
Also, a snowstorm moving through the heartland is headed east. How millions of people are preparing for a major hit.
And GOP presidential hopefuls, including Donald Trump, make a final pass through Iowa. The message with just 10 days until the Iowa caucus.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air channel 34 and channel 1257.
A 6th grader was killed and 5 other people were injured during Thursday's shooting at Perry High School in Iowa. Authorities have identified the shooter as a 17-year-old student at the high school who died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. NBC's Adrian Broaddus has the story from Perry.
A day later, and here in Perry, still a tremendous amount of pain. The school is closed, and the high school, as you can see, is still a crime scene. Thursday was the first day back to school following winter break for the district. But before those students could make it inside of the classroom, they were met with terror. Investigators have identified a 17-year-old student as the shooter, Dylan Butler. Police say he injured 4 people and killed a 6th grader. Now, some of you might be wondering, did this happen at the high school? Yes, it did. But at the time, there was a breakfast program going on, so there were a number of students here at the high school. We were also learning more about the administrator investigators say was injured. According to a Facebook post, that administrator has been identified as the principal, Dan Marburger, by his daughter. She writes in a Facebook post calling her dad a gentle giant. She also says she was not surprised to learn that her father approached Dylan and tried to talk him down, distracting him long enough, allowing the other students in the cafeteria time to escape. Back to you.
It was Adrian Broaddus reporting, and police are investigating a TikTok post believed to be from Butler. It reportedly showed him inside a school bathroom posing with a blue duffel bag with a caption, "Now we wait."
The Florida woman charged with shooting and killing her neighbor last summer wants to speed up her trial. Susan Lawrence says the judge sent a letter asking to exercise her right to a speedy trial because she did not want to die in jail. Lawrence claims that she is not getting proper care in jail and is afraid that she would get sick or die while in custody. The judge said the request was not valid because she did not go through her attorney to file a formal motion. The family of the victim, A.J. Owens, reacted to the request after the hearing.
The audacity of her to say that she doesn't want to die in jail if her heart continues to beat. My daughter, Ajika Owens' heart will never beat. Her 4 precious babies' hearts will never beat the same. The mitigated gall, the selfish, is deplorable.
Police say Lawrence shot Owens through her front door, killing her. Owens' family says Lawrence has been harassing Owens' children before the shooting happened.
A Georgia middle school teacher accused of threatening to behead a student is out of a job. Benjamin Reese is charged with making terroristic threats and cruelty to children. Numerous witnesses say Reese cursed at the 3 female students and threatened to cut off their heads. This all happened after a student told Reese she found the Israeli flag he had hanging in his classroom offensive due to, quote, Israelis killing Palestinians. The father of one of the students wants the teacher's certification to be revoked so he can't teach at any school in the future. Lululemon is distancing itself from founder Chip Wilson's recent comments he made on the company's diversity and inclusion efforts during a recent interview with Forbes. Wilson said, quote, "You've got to be clear that you don't want certain customers coming in." In response, Lululemon said Wilson does not speak for the company and that his views don't stand for its values or beliefs. The company adds it's committed to creating inclusive, diverse, and welcoming environments. He stepped down as chairman in 2013.
The wife of a billionaire Harvard critic allegedly plagiarized parts of a dissertation at MIT. Neri Oxman is accused of plagiarizing multiple paragraphs in her dissertation. The accusation is similar to those against former Harvard president Claudine Gay. Oxman is married to Bill Ackman, who called accusations of plagiarism against Gay serious grounds to fire her. However, in the case of his wife, Ackman says what makes her human is that she makes mistakes and apologizes.
Drivers are navigating slick and slushy roads in Wichita, Kansas, after snow fell steadily across that area this morning. Forecasters expect several inches of accumulation in that city today, but temperatures are expected to warm throughout the day. NBC's Maggie Vespa shows us how cities in the Northeast are now preparing for weekend winter weather.
This morning, after hitting the snooze button on snow for months, Mother Nature's brutal winter wake-up call is barreling toward the East Coast.
Kind of excited because we haven't gotten any snow yet.
From North Carolina to Maine, at least 33 million Americans under winter storm watches this weekend. The system started along the Pacific coast and is now racing across the country. It's set to pummel parts of the Northeast with heavy rain, strong winds, and in some cases up to a foot of snow. The first major snowfall for some communities in 2 years.
We're totally geared up. I know a lot of people haven't seen snow in a long time.
And while cities like New York and Philly could mostly see rain, New York's governor directing state agencies to prepare for an emergency response. While officials in Massachusetts could initiate a full call out, meaning up to 3,000 pieces of equipment could be utilized.
Right now, we're expecting this to be a really pretty sizable statewide event.
As crews across the region prepare for the onslaught of snow, hardware stores are seeing an uptick in business.
This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
With anticipation mounting,
I want to buy a sled
to see if a major snowless streak finally ends.
It hasn't snowed in a couple years, so we're definitely looking forward to it.
Maggie Vespa reporting there. Just Wichita, Kansas, that was snow.
Right. Yeah, I miss the snow. I know that's a hot topic right there. I miss the snow. A lot of people don't like the snow. We're not going to get any snow. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking. That's the same system coming our way. We're going to get a bunch of rain from that.
We're going to be just too warm to have any snow, which seems to be the broken record for us. And in this El Nino year, we're going to see system after system. We have a big one coming Tuesday. It looks like another one potentially for the following weekend. We're going to see one after another, and we're probably going to be pretty hard pressed to get snow out of any of them this winter. We take a live look at Apex. It looks beautiful, but it is chilly out there. It was a cold start this morning. We were down in the low to mid 20s in a few places. So folks up and down Salem Street definitely bundled up in their big winter coats right now. It is just 42 degrees here at noon. We're on the way to mid to upper 40s this afternoon. It's very dry right now. Our dew point is 16. So that first little wave of rain that comes in late tonight, early tomorrow morning is probably going to evaporate before it reaches the ground. Right now it's 37 in Roxborough, 41 in Rocky Mount, 43 Fayetteville, and 42 degrees in Southern Pines. Around town again, we're looking at upper 40s in Raleigh and Durham, potentially up to around 50 in Fayetteville. You'll notice as the afternoon wears on that we start to see the thin high clouds thickening up a bit. Will be mostly cloudy as we get into this evening. We take a look at that big system. We took a look at the pictures there from Kansas City. You could see all the snow there across parts of Kansas. Getting ready to cross the Mississippi Valley, heading up around, heading toward Chicago and Missouri. All of that is going to head north of us, except for the mountains. The mountains are likely to get a couple of inches of snow potentially, but it looks like we'll have the warmth even surging into our mountains. So it may start as snow tomorrow morning in the mountains, but it is likely to change over to rain around midday. So not really making for a great ski weekend. We take a look at our winter weather advisory, which the National Weather Service issued early this morning. So it's Person County and Mecklenburg County, Virginia. We're looking at the potential there for some freezing rain up to a light glaze. In the last couple of days, we've not been expecting this to be a travel issue for us. It's just not going to be cold enough We're not going to see enough accumulation of ice to cause any power outages. And the new runs of the models that came in yesterday and again today continue to warm our temperatures. So it looks like in Raleigh, we're not going to make it down to freezing. If you happen to be watching a few days ago, we were forecasting 28 for the morning, but we continue to watch the system warming up as it gets closer to us. So we are not likely to be below freezing in the Triangle area when this moves in. But it is likely to be chilly and wet and uncomfortable. At 5 a.m., 35 degrees, 36 at 7 a.m. At lunchtime, looking at mid-40s, and we may climb up to around 50 during the afternoon. So when we take a look at Futurecast, we start things cloudy at 2 o'clock in the morning. We see this moving in as rain. That's 4:30 in the morning. We'll pause it again at 5:15. The pink area is where we'll likely have some freezing rain. It stays well to our north and west, even to the north and west of Roxborough and South Hill. 7 a.m., it's a chilly rain, but that's all it ever is for our viewing area. Some scattered rain right around lunchtime, and then it moves out around the mid to latter part of the afternoon. So if you have plans on Saturday evening, it should be out of there. And Sunday doesn't look too bad, partly cloudy with temperatures in the mid-50s. We'll likely see about half an inch to an inch of rain, so it's not going to be enough to cause any flooding, even though it's going to be a pretty miserable day Saturday. It is a WRAL weather alert day. But I tell you what, Tuesday is going to be the one to watch. We could see flooding and possibly some wind damage. I'll walk you through what we could see where you are coming up.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Here's a look at what we're following for our evening newscast. An inspector found lots of roaches in one restaurant's paper towel dispenser. 5 on your side breaks down the other health hazards discovered in this week's restaurant ratings. That's at 5.
Plus at 4, your answer for the best diet of 2024. Roaches not on the list there for that one. All right. We'll give you the best plan for success later today. Still ahead this noon, a common product used to relieve tight muscles is being recalled. Why customers should stop using the Homedics personal massagers immediately.
And Verizon customers, listen up. You could be eligible for part of a $100 million class action settlement. What the company is accused of doing without customer knowledge.
Welcome back as we take a live look right now. North Hills, blue skies, a little bit of clouds out there. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Homedics is recalling 87,000 of those personal massagers because they could cause burns. The company has received 17 reports of that massage gun overheating. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says overheating can happen while charging. The massager was sold nationwide, including by Amazon. Customers can get a full refund plus 20% credit toward any other Homedics product.
The maker of ChatGPT is reportedly in talks with dozens of publishers to license their content for chatbot. OpenAI has already struck deals with the owner of Politico and the Associated Press. Last week, the New York Times sued OpenAI and Microsoft for using the paper's articles without permission. And Google may be working on a paid version of its AI chatbot. Code spotted by a developer shows Bard Advanced will likely be free for the first 3 months before users have to pay. The release of Bard Advanced is expected soon. A paid version would allow the company to recover some of the costs associated with running a large AI language model. No word yet on pricing.
Verizon customers could receive some money as part of a class action settlement. The lawsuit claims that between January 1st, 2016 to November 8th, 2023, customers were charged undisclosed administrative fees in a deceptive and unfair manner. The total settlement is proposed to be $100 million. Verizon customers have until this spring to file a claim, and each eligible customer can receive up to $100.
Former President Donald Trump holds a commanding lead in the race for the GOP nomination. How Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis could pull ahead to claim the number 2 spot.
Also, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on a multi-nation trip to the Middle East. How he hopes to stop the war between Israel and Hamas from expanding. And here's a look at your NC Education winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
2024 GOP presidential hopefuls are making their final swings through the Hawkeye state. Nikki Haley and her former boss, President Donald Trump, will both host events in Iowa this evening.
And the candidates will be going virtually nonstop until votes are cast on January 15th. NBC's Dasha Burns reports on 10 days until the Iowa caucuses.
With just 10 days until the Iowa caucuses, Republican presidential contenders are hustling in the Hawkeye state.
We are only weeks away from making history and winning Iowa's first-in-the-nation caucus.
The frontrunner, former President Trump, predicting an overwhelming victory in Iowa as his rivals fight each other. Once Mr. Trump's strongest challenger in the polls, DeSantis now locked in a battle for second place with Nikki Haley.
Trump has always been leading in the race. I mean, he's the former president. He's one of the most famous people in there.
But you're not even the top challenger to him now.
We are the top. I'm the only one that has a chance to beat Trump and win the general election. Nikki Haley can't get conservative voters.
DeSantis seizing on Haley's comments about the caucuses to New Hampshire voters.
You know Iowa starts it. You know that you correct it. You know that you continue to go.
I think it's a slap in the face to Iowans to say that they somehow need to be corrected. It's almost as if like she's acknowledging she's not going to do well here, and so she's blaming the voters.
Haley responding on CNN overnight.
If I didn't love Iowa, I wouldn't keep coming to Iowa. But if we're going to have fun, I'm probably going to say something funny in Iowa tomorrow about South Carolina or New Hampshire. It's the way to just kind of not make everything so serious.
Looming over the race, Mr. Trump's criminal charges over the January 6th attack on the Capitol by his supporters, which happened 3 years ago tomorrow.
What lessons did the country learn from January 6th? What did you also personally take away from that day?
I think it's been politicized by the left. I don't think it was supposed to be. That was not supposed to happen. I think people went to protest, and I think it got out of hand.
But January 6th will be central to President Biden's re-election message, highlighted in a new campaign ad.
There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy.
And aides say it'll be a key focus of his speech today in historic Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, where he'll cast the 2024 election as a referendum on the future of American democracy.
That was Dasha Burns reporting. One of the most outspoken figures in the aftermath of the January 6, 2021 attack wants a new title. Former U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn is running for Maryland's 3rd Congressional District. Dunn says part of the reason he's running is because former President Donald Trump could be reelected. Dunn was on duty during the January 6th attack and later testified to the House Select Committee. Despite the trauma, he continued to work as a Capitol Police officer until he stepped down several weeks ago.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, continue to cover the winter weather that we're expecting in the northern counties tomorrow. We just checked in with the NCDOT. They're brining roads and I-40, I-87, US 70, those flyovers. Also in the northern counties, I-85 and many of the bridges because of the frozen precip that we expect in those areas. This is all preventative measures on the part of DOT. Take a listen.
Doing this, as everybody knows, weather can change quickly. This enables us to have a little bit of preventative measures, a little insurance on our end, and it'll put us above the game if something does come in.
Again, we're back here live in the WRAL Live Center. You're looking at this live picture out of Roxborough in Person County, one of the counties that's under that winter weather advisory. Coming up in just a few minutes, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will run through exactly what you need to know ahead of this winter precip that's coming in tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Ken. Duke Energy is apologizing for a message it sent out to thousands of customers. Some were concerned about potential blackouts this morning. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains the true intent of that message.
For some people, the message was really concerning, so that's why today the staff here at Duke Energy is working to clear all of this up. You may have received this message yesterday. It says customers should save energy between 6 and 9 o'clock this morning. That's because there will be high energy demand due to colder temperatures. Some customers were worried about blackouts like the ones that happened about a year ago. They left more than 500,000 people without power over Christmas weekend. WRAL spoke with Duke Energy spokesperson Jeff Brooks. He says this was the purpose of yesterday's message.
The point of it is to make customers aware that we are going to see higher demand and taking steps to protect the grid, make it reliable. And this is an opportunity for customers to be aware that that is the time of day when we tend to see our highest usage. And if there's things they can do to help, we appreciate it.
If you can save energy today, that's great. But as far as those blackouts are concerned, Brooks says folks shouldn't have anything to worry about. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Wake County is one of the fastest growing areas in the country, and we are getting new data on where people are moving here from. This map shows the difference between how many people are moving to Wake County compared to those leaving. Any state in yellow means more people have moved from Wake County to that area than from that state to here. And then the darker the color, the more people moving here from those locations.
One of the most attractive aspects of our community is is both our quality of place and our cost of living.
So by that map, Wake County saw the highest net migration from New Jersey, New York, and other North Carolina counties, and Virginia and California as well. All of those other states have higher household median incomes than ours. With the transition to remote work, people from those areas are bringing those higher incomes with them, which experts say boosts our economy.
Tomorrow, the City of Raleigh Museum will host an Emancipation Day event Saturday that teaches the community the unique history of ending slavery here in North Carolina. Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation abolished slavery on January 1st, 1863. Emancipation Day was a holiday that was originally held in New Bern, North Carolina, to commemorate the event. There will be several events, including a historical reenactment, spoken word performances, and children's story time at the museum on Fayetteville Street. And the team behind GalaxyCon Fan Convention have created a new event. Animate Raleigh is happening through Sunday at the Raleigh Convention Center. It features animation, cosplay, anime, and lots of voice actors. People from Disney movies, Belle and Gaston from Beauty and the Beast, will be there. Tickets are still available.
Coming up, weight loss drugs have been all the rage lately, and now doctors are looking at possible connections to depression. What they've found in a recent study.
And add black tea to your shopping list. We'll tell you the benefits that come along with this drink. You can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
Drug maker Eli Lilly is launching a service to connect patients with telehealth care and deliver medications to their homes. The service is called Lilly Direct. It'll be geared toward people who need medications for obesity, diabetes, and migraines. This comes after recent moves by weight loss companies Weight Watchers and Noom into telehealth prescribing.
Using prescription drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy do not appear to be associated with a higher risk of suicidal thoughts compared to other medicines for those conditions. Researchers looked at more than 100 million patient records backed by the National Institutes of Health. 6 months after starting the medicines, people taking the drug for weight loss had a 73% lower risk of first-time suicidal ideation. The lower risk was observed for 3 years, and the findings were released just days after the FDA said it was reviewing reports of suicidal thoughts among people using semaglutides and similar medicines. And you might want to swap your morning cup of coffee with black tea. As with any other tea, black tea is a healthy way to boost hydration and get in some extra antioxidants. The tea contains compounds which have antioxidant properties. Studies show the antioxidants found in teas may be able to prevent and treat diseases like cardiovascular disease. Another active ingredient in tea is theaflavin, which is research suggests may benefit gut health. So drink up.
For the first time in more than 50 years, the U.S. will attempt to land a spacecraft on the moon. The two private companies will attempt to scout out the planet before astronauts arrive.
Plus, we're getting fresh looks at Neptune and Uranus, the discovery that's revealing their true colors.
Bring you back with this live look at Clinton right now. There's a lot of blue skies out there. It's cold, though, and big changes on the way with Weather Alert Day for tomorrow. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is headed to the Middle East. He is there now, and it includes a stop in Israel. This is the fourth visit to the region since October 7th. This comes days after Israel's strike on a senior Hamas leader in Beirut raised concerns of a wider war with Iran-backed militant groups. Here's NBC's Matt Bradley. The whole region is waiting the arrival of American Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who's coming to the region first to Turkey. And this is going to be one of his broadest trips that he's taken so far. He's going to be visiting countries throughout the region, including here in Israel, in places like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, all of this trying to tamp down tensions that have been overflowing from here in Israel. We're seeing that fight with Israel and the Gaza Strip. Now we're seeing increased tensions with Lebanon, between the fighting with Hezbollah and Lebanon, which has killed well more than 100 Hezbollah fighters and several Israeli soldiers. We've seen blasts all across the region now. We've seen an assassination of a top Hamas official in Beirut. We've seen a blast when the United States attacked an Iranian-backed group in Iraq just yesterday. And before that, there was an attack on an Iranian group in Iran that was claimed by Islamic State. These were people who were gathering for the commemoration, the 4-year anniversary of the death of a top Iranian general by a U.S. drone strike. And then, of course, we're still seeing attacks by the Houthi rebels in Yemen against international shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Now, all of this taken together, there's one thing that ties them all together, and that is Iran. Iran has been the puppet master behind a lot of these different groups who are fighting against the United States and Israeli military installations. So that is a major issue. And we're hoping to hear from the head of Hezbollah, one of the biggest Iranian-backed groups. He is supposed to be speaking any minute now and addressing the regional tensions as well. He has already levied threats against Israel and the United States. So it's unclear where these regional tensions are going to be going from here. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv, Israel.
More than 50 years after the end of the Apollo program, 2 private companies in the United States are planning their own missions to the moon. The effort is part of a NASA-supported push to kickstart commercial moon deliveries as the space agency focuses on getting astronauts back there. A company based in Pittsburgh plans to launch its spacecraft on Monday aboard a brand new rocket. Then in mid-February, a lander from a Houston-based company will hop a ride with SpaceX. Well, the true colors of Uranus and Neptune may be more similar than previously thought. Take a look at this. The corrected images show that Neptune and Uranus have a similar greenish blue hue. A team at the University of Oxford used 2 different telescopes to capture the new data. Then they applied that data to the original images captured by NASA's Voyager 2. At the time, Uranus appeared to be a pale cyan color, while Neptune was depicted as a striking deep blue.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, we have an update on that major gas leak that we've been following out of Fayetteville as we take a look now at video from Sky 5. Our Fayetteville reporter Gilbert Bays is reporting that gas line has been capped and the gas has been rerouted. Bragg Boulevard remains closed, but Sycamore Dairy Road that was closed has now since reopened. Gilbert also says that emergency management are waiting on the state DOT and Fayetteville Police to clear that area along Bragg Boulevard before businesses and residents are allowed back in the area. We also know that firefighters right now are going door to door at the Motel 6 there on Bragg Boulevard to make sure there's no remaining scent of gas in the area. Another big story we're following today, the winter weather that's expected tomorrow. We're expecting a lot of rain around here, but our northern counties expecting some frozen precip. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking it all for us.
Ken, fortunately, as the new model runs came in yesterday and even again today, it looks less and less likely like we're going to see any frozen precipitation. We just continue to see the system warming up as it gets close to us. It is a WRAL weather alert day. It's going to be an uncomfortable day. As I showed you a little while ago, temperatures are going to stay in the mid to upper 30s for a good bit of the morning while the rain is falling, but you don't necessarily need to go out and buy a bunch of bread and milk. This is not a system where we're going to see widespread power outages or any power outages really that are caused by weather. We do have a winter weather advisory that's in effect for Person County and Mecklenburg County, Virginia. Now, if you're going to be traveling all the way to the mountains, you might run into some slick conditions there. They're looking at a couple of inches of snow, but the mountains will likely see the wintry precipitation changing over to rain in the afternoon. We're just going to see so much warmth moving in to this area. Now, if you're headed also up into Virginia, past D.C. and north, you're going to run into some snow there, but we're just not likely to see anything frozen around our area, even in these areas where the advisory is. The advisory wording is up to a light glaze, and that's going to be a no impact situation for us. So I'm hoping everybody will just, plan to stay in on Saturday morning, only because it's a cold rain and you don't want to walk outside. There's going to be snow with the system, but it's not coming anywhere close to us. It will continue to move up to the north and east. Again, mountains might see a little bit, northern Virginia and into the northeast, but we're just not going to see it around here. We'll take another look at Futurecast. We'll kick things off at 3 a.m. We'll see skies clouding up overnight, and we'll push this ahead. Green is rain, purple is freezing rain or sleet or snow mixed in. And look at how far west that is. I mean, it's way back across the western Piedmont, the foothills, the mountains. This is 6 a.m. across our area. It's definitely going to be a wet start to the day. We start to see the rain breaking up to just showers around lunchtime. And then once we get into the mid to latter part of the afternoon, it's over. It moves on out. We may not see clearing very quickly, but if you do have plans to head out to a show or to dinner, anything like that Saturday evening, the rain will be over by that point. Here's a look at the potential rainfall for us. We're looking at probably somewhere around a half an inch to an inch of rain. That will not be enough to cause any flooding. Here's a look at the snow forecast. You can see the potential for a couple of inches in the mountains, all the way up through Virginia, and then Pennsylvania, New York, and New England. They see snow, but again, nothing around our area, not even close. We take a look at another potent system. Now, this one is one to be a little bit more concerned about. We're looking at 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even higher than that. That could cause a lot of trees to come down and power outages next Tuesday. This is already a WRAL weather alert day. We could see 2 to 4 inches of rain that could cause some flooding. Now, this is one that we're really taking seriously. We're looking at the potential for some wind hazards from New England all the way down through the Carolinas, as well as the chance of some severe storms. The Storm Prediction Center is watching this area in yellow from the triangle area north and east, south and east. And by tomorrow, we may be under some sort of threat for severe storms. This is going to be another all-day rain with that 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. It's likely not to end until sometime Wednesday morning. So Tuesday, definitely a system that we'll be watching very closely. In the meantime, again, tomorrow is a weather alert day, just for some cold rain.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Forget the dog ate my homework. How about the dog ate my cash? Find out how much this golden doodle chowed down and how much the owners have retrieved.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. Tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day as we track a cold, heavy rain moving into our area overnight. A winter weather advisory is in effect for 2 of our counties for your Saturday. NCDOT crews are brining some roads in our area ahead of that system.
Just in the last few minutes, crews capped a gas leak in Fayetteville, and that gas is being rerouted now. They're still working at the scene, but they have reopened Sycamore Dairy Road. A section of busy Bragg Boulevard is still shut down. People are still evacuated, and businesses are closed. Crews hope to finish those repairs sometime this afternoon.
And a mall in Greensboro reopened today less than 24 hours after a shooting inside. Berkeley Mall employees tell WRAL they heard more than 10 shots while people ran to safety. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Facebook videos appear to show at least 2 of the shooters involved. 3 people are charged with attempted murder. And the winners of the 2023 WRAL Voters' Choice Awards will be announced this afternoon. The annual awards will honor your local favorites in more than 100 categories. Voting took place in the fall. We'll start it off today with Woman of the Year winner. That's at 4:55 right here on WRAL News. You can go to WRAL.com/VCAs to get the full schedule of winner reveals and to see the list of your favorite local businesses.
A couple in Pennsylvania learned a pretty pricey lesson. They took out $4,000 cash from the bank to reportedly pay contractors and left the money on the counter, and that's where they went wrong. Their 7-year-old golden doodle decided to have a little snack. Cecil ate those greenbacks. The couple salvaged as much money as they could, even though some of it had passed through him, if you know what I'm saying. As of December 14th, they did manage to clean and tape together $3,550 of the $4,000. Fortunately, the bank says as long as the serial number on the notes is visible, they take the chewed money back. He's got expensive taste.
My goodness. All right. Pet of the day, 3-month-old puppy who won't eat your cash was found wandering alone. Now she needs a loving home and reassurance that somebody will love her. Meet Dolly. She's 3 months old. She's a spayed female puppy, 15 pounds. She may get up to 70 pounds, but since she is young, she can love everybody. For more information, go to spcawake.org.
NBC News Daily is up next on WRAL, your next local update in 30 minutes.
Have a great weekend.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.